Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews, more stuff pulled from the box. And as you can see, with each video, we get like more in the shelves and the racks, and we're getting there. And let's see. Well, there's like some space in this room now, a little bit, but it'll be a few weeks before it's like totally inhabitable. Anyway, I've got here some really cool CDs, mostly from the Bees, but not entirely. 3 of them. Let us begin, shall we? I snagged the Busoni Piano Concerto. This was the classic recording for the longest time. And now there's that one with the Boston Symphony, which is quite marvelous as well. But it features Garrick Ohlsson, the Cleveland Orchestra, and Christoph von Dohnányi on Telarc. You know, Telarc sort of made its reputation doing standard repertoire for the most part, but then every so often they branched off and did something really cool. Like they had like a Hovhannes series, and they did some other stuff like that. And this was a surprise, a great surprise. It's a very dark cover. Look at this; it's really dark. It's sort of hard to see what it is. But yes, it is the Busoni Piano Concerto. Now, this is like the longest piano concerto ever. How long is it? It's in this performance, it's 71 minutes and 45 seconds, and it's got a chorus in it, and it's like a totally crazy work. But it's Busoni's major orchestral masterpiece. It really, really is. And some people like it, and some people don't like it so much. It is, I think, a fascinating work. It's a little bit difficult because the orchestration, Busoni's orchestration, was always a little gray. Somehow there was a certain monotony about it that was a little bit odd. He struggled, I think, writing for the orchestra. But still, this is about as colorful as he got. And the piano writing, of course, is stupendous. And it's really rather cool. So this was like fun to find. It really was. There aren't so many of them that you're going to have a ton of them. There's the John Ogden one, that was on EMI, the first one, which is still very good. There aren't any, I think, really bad performances of this. I think Marc-Andre Hamelin did it too, didn't he, on Hyperion? I wasn't too thrilled with that because the orchestra wasn't so wonderful. But, it is what it is. This is certainly amazing from an orchestral point of view. And Garrick Ohlsson is phenomenal in the solo part. I mean, thank God somebody with his talent and ability learned the piece. And Telarc, with its reputation for audiophile splendiferousness. I mean, probably a lot of people who never even heard of Busoni or knew what this thing was bought it just because it was on Telarc, which is only a good thing, right? Let's see what else we have here. Oh, my goodness, yeah. Zelenka. We're going all the way to the other end of the alphabet. What was this doing with the Bees? I have no idea. It's how they packed it. This is the Missa Votiva, ZWV-18. Now, all of Zelenka's masses are worth hearing. He had more personality than any 10 Baroque composers combined. I mean, his music is quirky and original, and this is a serious setting. This is a 70-minute long, this is the 70-minute show. No, the 70-minute long mass setting, which is as big as the Missa Solemnis. I mean, it's a seriously large work. And a wonderful one, absolutely wonderful. It's a full mass. It doesn't have like any missing movements or anything. And it is absolutely stunning with all of his quirky fugal things and characteristic melodic turns of phrase. I mean, Zelenka is just great. I mean, what can I say? I have as much of his music as I can. And this is on Carus. With the Kammerchor Stuttgart, which is, of course, one of the great chamber choirs in the universe, and the Baroque Orchestra Stuttgart under Frieder Bernius. Wonderful, wonderful music. This is ZWV-18. It's the 18th of his masses. He wrote quite a few. There's 20 some odd, I think, all told. And they're all worth hearing. Zelenka is always worth hearing. It doesn't matter what it is. You could be setting the telephone directory. It would be worth hearing. So Missa Votiva on Carus. Absolutely marvelous. And it goes so well with the Bees. God. And then, of course, back to the Bees after the Z's. This is the Jean Martinon Berlioz twofer. Now, of course, there are Berlioz boxes now. All the stuff was issued in that Martinon Dorado thing now, but this was back in the days when there was EMI, and this is Japanese EMI, because Martinon's stuff just wasn't available. They weren't letting us hear it. Those sons of bitches. And I got this from Japan. It's the Symphonie Fantastique and Lélio, with Martinon and the Orchestre Nationale de l'URTF and the Chœur et Orchestre National de France. Yeah, doesn't get any better, folks. This is one of the most underrated Symphonie Fantastiques out there. It is splendid. Absolutely splendid. I mean, it's exciting. It's texturally well differentiated. It's characterful. It's colorful. It has everything you ever want in the Symphonie Fantastique. It's beautiful. And Lélio, which is hopeless, let's face it, but has a couple like fabulous big things in it. And Martinon was just, I mean, he was a genius conductor, a fabulous conductor. And, you know, so many people were doing this, including Charles Munch making his 500th recording of it in France at about the same time as this. So nobody was paying much attention to what Martinon was doing. And this didn't get, I think, a lot of really big international like distribution. And no one ever cared about Lélio. So when I finally got my hands on this and heard it, I was like, whoa! This is really, really good. And here they are. I'm excited to have found them again. Of course, I talked about the Martinon big box, endlessly. And this is in it. But it's nice to see them separately because he was a fine Berlioz conductor, as he was a fine conductor of just about everything he did. Just about. So there you go, my friends. Keep on listening. 3 random reviews of nifty, nifty stuff. Take care.